Hello there, this is Dr. Kushbu Shah, and well, I'm also going to go live on Instagram. So hold on one second. Okay then. Okay, I am back here. Can you hear me now? And I am also going to go live. Puppy, can you hear me? Yes, I think I'm here again. Welcome. Um, and yay! I don't know why it's such a technical thing every time. Anyway, I'm also live on Instagram. So here is Instagram. Hello. And here is um, Facebook. It was the funniest thing setting this up, but I'm here. Welcome. I am Dr. Khushbu Shah. I'm doing the second call in this free series that we've started called Seeds of Possibilities, where I basically read. So this is so if I'm so for those who are looking at me from Instagram, there'll be times when I just look at you here and then here because this is Instagram and this is Facebook. Okay, so in case y'all think I'm looking somewhere else and talking, it's because I am. But I'm also talking to y'all. So I'm talking to both. Okay. Hi, Instagram world. Um, so this is like a free series that we've started, and this is technically called number 2, where I'll be reading parts of some of the most beautiful books, and most of them would be from Access Consciousness publication, that basically have given me freedom in many areas when I have gotten stuck. Okay, so the one that we started with was Being You, Changing the World. We read a little of it because this is obviously a book read. This is not a book club. Book club and Access would be where it's also a facilitated thing, a recorded thing. This is just a book read to introduce, to talk about a few things, to read out a few things that would help you today. And also to go out and go get the book because they're brilliant. So anyway, so this is the book I'm going to read today. I know it's like mirror image, but it's called Projections, Expectations, Separations, Judgments, and Rejections. Okay, it's by Gary Douglas. He's the founder of Access Consciousness. For those on Instagram wondering why I'm looking down and here, it's because there's 2 devices I'm on, for one for Facebook, one for Instagram. Okay, so it's by Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness. And this book is actually a transcript of a call he did a few years back, um, which seems like 1,000 years ago. I actually attended this call live, okay, and I still listen to it. It's a brilliant call. It's a telecall, but this is like a transcript of that brilliant series that he had. Okay, so projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections. None of us did that. No. Okay, we all do that. We all have it, but the more we get out of it, the more freedom and happiness you'll have. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna read a few things from this book. Okay. And if you don't know about Access Consciousness, go find out on www.accessconsciousness.com. You'll also find it in my link for Instagram, in my bio. It's a treasure of tools and tips to get you happy and to make you stay there. Like be happy and stay there. Cool. So um, I'm going to start with the basics, okay, which is chapter 1. What are basically projections, expectations, uh, separations, judgments, and rejections? Okay, so chapter 1. So y'all, when I'm reading this, y'all can just relax, really. Um, and you will find this book on Kindle, on Amazon, on the Access website. You will find it in multiple places, so you can buy the version that works best for you. The more you read these books, like I've heard the telecall a whole bunch of times. I've also read the book once, but the more you read it, the more it starts clearing stuff for you. So it's not just theory; these are actually practical ways of getting out of any sort of reactions we may be in our lives, in relationships, etc. And projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections definitely is something that if we're doing this, we're in reaction, not in action with any area of our lives. Okay, so chapter 1, projections and expectations separate you from your awareness. So, whenever you are doing projection and expectation of any kind, you are separating, judging, and rejecting anything that would give you awareness. You're eliminating awareness. And that's pretty serious and severe, isn't it? So, Gary, hello everyone. Welcome to our series of calls on projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections. Let's start by talking about what these things are. What are projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections? Projections and expectations are what you think someone else will do. So please listen to these things because these no one tells us in these many words. It's we sort of know what projections are, but Gary has a way of putting things into words which gives you a full picture and the full energy of what is actually required for you as information to get more clarity in that area. All right. So projections and expectations are what you think someone else will do, even if they aren't going to do it. A projection would be, this man is perfect for me. An expectation would be, he will have the same point of view, he will have the same point of view about me that I have about him. He'll think I'm perfect for him. Okay? Judgment is any fixed point of view or any conviction that someone or something has to be a certain way. Separation occurs once you do a judgment of any kind. Okay? Separation occurs when you do a judgment of any kind. And what is judgment? Judgment is a fixed point of view or any conviction that someone or something has to be a certain way. I'm reading a book called Projections, Expectations, Judgments, Rejections for those who are just joining in on Instagram. Just nuggets and pieces of information that changed my whole world. Separation occurs when you do a judgment of any kind. You separate yourself from the person or thing you judge, even if it's you. Even if it's you. Rejection is dismissing or refusing something. If the other person doesn't have the same point of view you do, they have to separate, judge, and reject you. Or you have to separate, judge, and reject you because the other person is separating, judging, and rejecting you. Okay? The reason I'm looking here and there is because I've got two devices and I'm on Instagram and Facebook simultaneously. Just a little reminder. Cool. So that is information on what projection, expectation, judgment, and separation and rejection is. What is awareness? Awareness is the place where no point of view is necessary. Whenever you're doing projection and expectation of any kind, you are separating, judging, and rejecting anything that would give you awareness. You're eliminating your awareness. Again, that's pretty severe, isn't it? So, class participant asks Gary, what is awareness? Awareness is the place where no point of view is necessary. When you are aware, you have the ability to see and to perceive, to know and to be, and to receive the totality of something in a way in which you don't have to come to conclusion. Okay, I'm going to read that again because this is like, just relax and receive every word. Awareness is the place where no point of view is necessary. When you are aware, you have the ability to see and to perceive, to know and to be, and to receive the totality of something in a way in which you don't have to come to conclusion. So, class participant, I realize I've been trying to get awareness right. I see that I have no idea what awareness really is because awareness can't be right or wrong. Gary, that's correct. Go back through your life and look at all the places where you knew you shouldn't do something, but you did it anyway. Okay, like go out with the guy that you knew was not going to be kind, and it turned out exactly as you thought it would. I'm just kidding. No, That's a time when you were aware and you denied your awareness. Awareness never comes from believing what people say. Awareness never comes from believing what people say. It always comes from watching what they do. Watch what they do, and you will gain awareness. Watch what they say, and you will be distracted from what is actually going on. This is where you eliminate your capacity for infinite choice and infinite possibility. I never have any projections, expectations, separations, judgments, or rejections of anyone. Not me, that's Gary. I'm always perceiving rather than believing. I'm always perceiving rather than believing. I'm always capable of adjusting according to the moment. I don't believe what people say. I am aware of what's coming out of their head, and I'm only surprised when they do what they say. So, how many projections and expectations are you using to create the separations, judgments, and rejections of you are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you all please uncreate this for all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pod, online shots, boys, co-eds, and beyonds. Okay, this gobbledygook sentence that I just read out, or I said, is the clearing statement in Access, which is designed to clear all of the energies that are coming up when we do the clearing before this. Okay, so if you need more information, please go to www.theclearingstatement.com, and there's a great video by Dean and Simon on this, and we'll give you much more information. Okay, so I'm going to read that again. How many projections and expectations are you using to create the separations, judgments, and rejections of you are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you please? I'm going to start all. Right round, good, bad, popcorn, online shots, boys, poets, and beyonds. Okay, this is an example of verbal clearing in Access consciousness. The question is designed to bring up the energy of what we want to clear, and the clearing statement is designed to clear the energy that the question is bringing up. Cool. Other people's projections and expectations of you. Please listen to this carefully. Most of us have a lot of things projected at us at an early age. And those projections and expectations can have adverse effects on our body and being. Before the age of 2, you do not perceive any difference between you and your parents or the people around you. And you take on their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, and their points of views. Then, when you reach adolescence and seek to rebel against your parents, you are also rebelling against you because you've made those projections and expectations part of who and what you are. Someone asked me, is it possible to do something to permanently destroy any connection to other people's projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections? I said, yes, it's called awareness. So then the class participant asked, can you say more about that? More about what is awareness? I feel like running away from the projections and expectations of other people. Don't we all? How many of you actually like being around people? How many of you actually prefer not to be around people? Me. Yeah, so this gives you information of what's actually going on so you don't make yourself wrong by why you don't like to be around people. But then you realize it's really not about you, and then you can actually have fun being around people. Okay? Get it. Well, one of the projections and expectations in this reality is that you have to get married and have 2.5 kids. You're supposed to do things in a certain way, right? But you never could live by that, could you? What would it be like if you were willing to create from what you know instead of whatever everybody else projects and expects you should choose and be? I don't care if anybody else agrees with me. I don't care if anybody else gets it. I don't care what occurs here. I am going to create something one way or the other. Okay? The next part of this chapter is a tool called Interesting Point of View, which will give you freedom if you do use it. Class participant. Interesting point of view. Okay? So that's the subsection of this chapter, and the class participant asked, that's the awareness I'm beginning to step into. It's a huge awareness for me, Do not run away from other people's projections of what I'm creating. Their expectations are just an interesting point of view. Get it? Yes. Their projections and expectations are just projections and expectations. They don't mean anything. But we tend to make people's projections and expectations to mean something and very real when it actually isn't. All the projections and expectations you've defined as meaningful are the things that keep you from being everything you are. So everything that is stands a godzillion. Will you please again destroy all? Right, wrong, good, bad, popcorn, online shots, boys, boys, and beyonds. I'm reading a book called Projections, Expectations, Separations, Judgments, and Rejections. There are people joining and leaving on Instagram, so I have to make sure I let them know. Okay. So, what have you suppressed in order to live by the projections and expectations of others? So, everything you've suppressed, all your dreams, all your hopes, everything you know you should be able to do, everything you've suppressed based on the projections and expectations of others, will you please and can destroy all of those? At Wrong Good Bad Pop online shots, boys, provides and beyonds. How many of the projections and expectations of you that you have defined as meaningful are the things that keep you from being everything you are? And everything that is times a godzillion. That's not going to destroy it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, popper, online shots, boys, poets, and beyonds. Even if none of this makes sense, what I'm reading, it will still work with whoever is willing to receive this. So just relax, lower your barriers, and then later you can actually go buy this book and really let it work on you deeply. How much have you suppressed you to live by the projections and expectations of others? Everything you've suppressed to live by the projections and expectations of others, will you please and destroy all of those? I Wrong Get by Popper, online shots, boys, provides, and beyonds. Everything you've suppressed to live by the projections and expectations of others, will you please and destroy it all? I Wrong Get by Popper, online shots, boys, provides, and beyonds. You have to realize this is big, okay? This particular clearing, because we've suppressed a lot of things because of expectations and projections of others, that is not right for you to be. So everything you've suppressed to live by the projections and expectations of others, will you please uncreate and destroy it all? I Wrong Get by Popper, online shots, boys, provides, and beyonds. I wonder what I can read next. Projecting and expecting failure. This is a topic that a lot of people are talking about, at least that I've heard a lot of people talk about and ask more questions about this. So this is great. So projecting and expecting failure. Class participant. I have a few concerns related to my work and my desire for money. I was practicing as a chartered accountant in India. I didn't know this would be so close to home, but it was not going well. I closed down my office and decided to work from home. Then I tried for a job, but I didn't get it. Then I moved and my family resisted it. I'm still not creating the profit I want. What is this? What can I do to change this? Can it be helped? So, Gary, you've just talked about how you're a failure. Is that at all real to you? So, who is listening to this? Okay, at any place, if you think you're a failure, the next bit of information may be very helpful to you. So, class participant, yes. Gary, you're projecting and expecting failure. It could be that someone in your family is projecting and expecting your failure as well. The end result is that you will separate, judge, and reject you. They can also separate, judge, and reject you, and you will align and agree with that point of view and make it even worse. So, all of the projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections you're using to make sure you have no success. Will you please and can destroy all of that, please? Let on get back, Papa. Oh, fuck, that has energy. Sorry for cursing on oh, live web. But all the projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections you're using to make sure you have no success. Will you please and can destroy it all? Times a godzillion. Right on, goodbye, Papa, online shots, boys, boys, and beyonds. All of the projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections you're using to make sure you have no success. Would you please again destroy all? Right on, goodbye, Papa, online shots, boys, boys, and beyonds. These books are amazing because they're not just theory, it's actually more practical than any practical book. Great. And thank you for receiving whoever was receiving this and whoever is going to receive this in the future. Family. Okay? So I'm not going to be reading the whole book, of course. I'm just going to read bits of it today. Okay? The next part I want to read about is family. Because no, family doesn't expect and project attitude. Family lets you be who you are. Everything that is, everything that brings up or lets down. Can we please agree to start all? Right, all goodbye, Papa. Online shots, boys, poets, in the arts. Family, that's participant. People around me, even my family members, are always projecting something onto me. I'm aware that I pick up stuff from them. Gary, you have to look at it and ask, is this a projection and expectation? You're from India, right? I swear. I didn't mean to read these parts. It's just Indian participants asking these questions. So, yay. Are there any projections and expectations about your being an Indian man? Last participant. Yes, lots. Gary. So all of those projections and expectations. And luckily, there are no projections or expectations about Indian women, or Chinese women, or American women, or Aussie women, or women in general, and projections and expectations about men. Oh, yeah, there are. So, all of those projections you have about any of that, any of the gender identification, will you please uncreate and destroy them all? I found Goodbye Pop Out online shots, boys, boys, and beyonds. So, all of the projections you have about any of that, any of the gender identification, will you please uncreate and destroy all of them? I found Goodbye Pop Out online shots, boys, boys, and beyonds. Again, for those just joining in, I'm on two devices, which is why my eyes go here and then here. This is Instagram, this is Facebook. Okay, I'm reading a book called Projections, Expectations, Separations, Judgments, and Rejections by Gary. Okay. Class participant. When I'm around my family, I feel like they have an image of me that has nothing to do with me. I feel like it's totally irrelevant to me. Gary, why are you projecting and expecting them to be family? You have some projection and expectations of what family is. Class participant. It is weird. They have an idea about me that has nothing to do with me. It's just him. It's just this person. It's all everybody out there listening to me. I want to be free of that. I don't know what it is and I don't know what to do with it. Gary, what are you trying to create as real for you that actually isn't? Do you have a nice family who loves you? Class participant. I think it's conditional, and that's not very nice. Gary, conditional love is not actually love. So I'm going to ask you again, do you have a loving family? I didn't know this would become this intense, but well, relax and receive because you're here. Class participant. Gary, yes or no? Class participant. They can be both. Gary, no. Class part. Okay, then I have to say no. Gary, but you keep expecting them and projecting them to love you because they're family. Class participant. I see that. Gary, what do they do for you? Do they take care of you and love you, or do they reject you and judge you? And this may not be true for everyone, but it may be true for some people, and it may be true at varying degrees for everybody here. And it may be actually true for most. So, class participant, they reject me and judge me. Gary, you're trying to look for how your judgment of them creates separation, judgment, and rejection. You're not seeing that you've already decided that they reject you. So rather than being aware of what's actually possible, you keep looking for how they're not going to do that. How about something different? What if you started looking at who they really are? Your projection and expectation is that one day they will love you because they're family. Is that looking at what family is, or is that not acknowledging what family is? So, how many projections and expectations of family are you using to receive the separation, the judgment, and the rejection of you they are choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion. will you please agree and destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop art, online shots, boys, poets, and beyonds. It seems to be relevant for a lot of people on here. So, how many projections and expectations of family are you using to deceive the separation, judgment, and rejection of you they are choosing? And everything that is times a Godzillion, will you please agree and destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop art, online shots, boys, poets, and beyonds. How many projections and expectations of family are you using to deceive the separation, judgment, and rejection of you you're choosing? And everything that is times a Godzillion, will you please agree and destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop art, online shots, boys, poets, and beyonds. And how next? How many projections and expectations of family are you using to deceive the separation, judgment, and rejection of you they are choosing? Everything that is times a Godzillion, would you please agree destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online shots, boys, poets, and beyonds. So if this conversation is making anybody uncomfortable or angry, or I would just go interesting point of view. Okay, really just be interesting point of view, because some of this information is actually relevant to a lot of people on here that would possibly change their lives, including me when I was reading this. Okay, this is not a form of separation. This is a form of realizing what's going on, so that you can actually have greater relationships with everybody without the need to be anything anyone else projects at you that you need to be. That you can show up as you with whoever, including your family. Okay? How does it get better than that? Cool. So, if you have no points of views, no projections, expectations, separations, judgments, or rejections, you can be aware of everything and change pretty much anything. How does it get better than that? And I think I'm going to end this here. Or, yeah, I think I want to end this here for now. For those of you who this was very relevant to, um, please keep listening to this again and again. Okay, and also there's so much more information on this book, Projections, Expectations, Separations, Judgments, and Rejections by Gary Douglas, because this is this is very insidious. This runs through everything, through all our relationships, business, family, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, families. This is pretty much how relationships run on this planet. But if and therefore, if you're not having ease with someone or something, or you can't be you around someone or something, it's because of these. If you get clear what's going on, and all you have to do is I can destroy it all you have to do is be interesting point of view, you can start to have the space and the peace that a lot of us enjoy by ourselves but not really around people. Like, I love my space, but I'm just by myself. I love it, and I didn't necessarily have it with people. Okay, the more I did this work, the more I realized projections and expectations and all of this stuff going on, and I'm clearing it, or the more ease I've begun to have with people as well. Okay, so this is, are you asking for more ease in your life? Are you asking for more ease with money, with relationships, with sex, with everything? If you change this, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections, you will have so much more peace. Okay, so go look at it, go find that book. It's there everywhere, Kindle, Amazon, on the Access website, and read it. Okay, more of this is covered, of course, in the foundation class, where we deeply change these things, um, which is like the first big class you do after you take the BAS class. And thank you for whoever has been here listening to my reading this. I will be coming here every other Wednesday. Okay, every other Wednesday with a book like this, with the same book, with another book. I'll be following the energy and just reading parts of it. Okay, not the entire book. And then it'll be available for you for 48 hours before it's taken down for copyright issues. So receive. You can also share this with other people. And what else is possible? Freedom, projections, expectations, rejections, separations, and expectations. Did I mention all of them? I think so. And judgments. Ha! Thank you guys so much. And I will see you not the coming Wednesday, the Wednesday after that. Bye.